Okay, week 9. Just trying to get everything to click correctly there, and it wasn't working with me. But that's okay. So, week 9. Week 9 is all about conflict. Every story needs conflict, and conflicts exist across a wide spectrum. And there are many different types of conflict, and your story actually may end up having multiple types of conflict within it. There might be types of conflict that you intentionally write, and there might be other conflicts that your reader sees inside your story beyond what you intended. Whatever the case, conflict is essential to a story. It must have conflict in order for it to be a story. And so, with this week, we have quite a bit of reading material, right? We also have, I'm going to show you what those are here in just a moment, but we also have the author conversation this week is with Rilla Askew, who is OU creative writing faculty, and she is also an author of multiple books. She is a fascinating lady. I thoroughly enjoyed speaking with her. In fact, I was kind of fangirling as I was talking to her. The summer previous, she led a workshop for TCC faculty, and I watched the workshop and just thought, this woman is amazing. She knows what she's talking about, and I need to learn from her. And so when I started doing the author conversations, I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to reach out to her and just be like, hey. And I did. I asked her if she would be willing to participate in my author conversations project. And she said, absolutely, yes. I was like, oh my gosh. So that was very exciting for me. And I'm pleased to be able to bring you that conversation. And again, I remind you that any of you who are going to be going on to OU perhaps to pursue your English degree or creative writing degree, try to get Rilla Askew as one of your professors. She's quite an amazing lady, and I was privileged to get to interview her for you. She did this for you. So I'm pleased to offer that this week of class. All right, so let's take a little time. We're going to do some share screen, and I'm going to put us into Blackboard so we can take a look at the readings for this week of class. So for this week of class, I have given to you, drum roll, do we need a drum roll? All right, How to Create Conflict by Ian Irving. Now, I am personally not aware much about Ian Irving, but he looks to be a fantasy writer. Some of you might know his name. I took an article that I found online and where he is writing How to Create Conflict, and I have given it to you as a PDF. I'm going to go ahead and start that opening up here for us so you can see this article as it opens. All right, here we are. This is the, oh, it's not Irving, it's Irvine. That's fine, right? It's fine. It's a great article, though. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm just not familiar with him as an author. So, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have awesome things to share, because he does. So this is 60 ways to create and heighten conflict. Wow. Here's a quote from Saul Stein, one of the greatest editors of the 20th century. Okay. A writer's job is to give his readers pleasure through stress, strain, and tension. Again. Why do we love stories? I'm not going to read all of this to you right now because it is a long article, but I know you're going to enjoy this article. So let's just take a look at some of the headlines here. We've got the basics of storycraft, conflict plus action plus resolution equals story. And so he goes into a strong explanation of what that means. Want plus obstacle plus action plus resolution equals story. Wonderful information. General ways to create conflict. 1, create inherently conflicting characters. Definitely. 2, create inherently conflicting groups. And obviously read all of the information here. Don't just read the subtitles. 3, give characters conflicting goals. 4, force opposing characters together. Ooh, kind of like in the weather scenario. I said that, perhaps this massive weather event happens in the midst of a battle and it forces enemies to shelter together. Oh my gosh, I love that. I think that's great. Number 5, raise the stakes. 6, create a power struggle. 7, use competition to heighten conflict. 8, create time conflicts. 9, family bonds. 10, love and romance. 11, work. Work offers many avenues for conflict. 12, perspective. 13, inner conflict. 14, micro tensions. You can have micro tensions as well as bigger conflicts. Use the 3 categories of conflict: global, local, and inner. Heighten and prolong conflict. Anticipation and expectation, those are also conflict. Structure your story to heighten conflict. Oh, such good information here. Such good. Please, please read this article thoroughly. 19, use conflict to heighten suspense. Oh, yes. Now, specific ways to create conflict. Make your antagonist strong, well-crafted, and believable. Give your hero something to fear. That's a great idea. Give your hero a significant flaw. Always. Your heroes should always have flaws. They need to be real people. Some of your characters aren't necessarily people, but remember Chuck Wendig said, no matter what we write, they're stand-ins for people. So, flaws. Put your hero at a disadvantage from the start. 24, increase the pressure in unpredictable ways. Oh, look at all these ideas. Test the hero's abilities to a breaking point. Arouse suspicion. Have the hero do something dumb that brings the readers to the edge of their seats. Withhold information from your hero. Foreshadow her fate or peril. Have the hero lose contact with their mentor. Oh, these are all so good. 25, create conflict with everyone and everything, including the hero himself. Just conflict everywhere. Have your readers going, ah. I like to do that with my stories. I like for there to be multiple conflict lines because I want all of the characters to be working through something, and that can become a little bit of a balance. But I think it makes a much more interesting story than there just being like 1 or 2 conflict lines. 26, make the odds impossible. 27, put your hero to impossible choices. Ooh, put him in a situation where none of the choices are good, but he has to make one. 28, use dramatic irony. 29, use the unknown to create anxiety and conflict. 30, put your hero in a perilous place. Yes, like in the labyrinth, we have the bog of eternal stench. I mean, that's a perilous place. Some of you know, some of you don't, and you should. Fake homework, watch the labyrinth. 31, show and heighten conflict via subtext. 32, give your hero a terrible secret. 33, use your hero's strengths against her. 34, use your hero's prior wound against her. Oh, that's fun, whether it's a physical wound or an emotional wound or a mental wound. Have it be like a recurring thorn in the flesh. 35, use your hero's need or yearning against her. 36, give all your characters an attitude, then put them in conflict. Oh, yeah. 37, block success at every turn. They just can't get there, but they keep trying. 38, turn his successes into poisoned chalices. He wins, but it turns out not to be good for him. Ooh. 39, give your hero pre-existing difficult relationships with many other characters. 40, give your characters blind spots about themselves. Isn't that real? That's a real part of life. We often have blind spots about ourselves. So make your characters real, make them human. This is a great one to consider. 41, make your hero hopeless at something. No matter what he does, he just can't walk a straight line, just can't cook, just can't say the word Pachyphalosaurus. Something. 42, make your hero obsessed about something. Maybe your hero just can't stop touching his hair. In all other ways, we like him, but that drives us crazy. 43, what outcomes are your hero? Is your hero? What outcomes? Wow, that's not written well. Ian Irvine. What outcomes is your hero most afraid of? Are your hero most afraid of? Are your heroes most afraid of? Wow, that sentence needs some help. What are some outcomes your hero is afraid of? Take away the things your hero most cares about. That's a theme I think we're pretty familiar with in some stories. 45, hurt your hero again and again. 46, betray your hero. 47, smash his life to pieces. 48, undermine everything he believes in. 49, sow confusion, doubt, and self-doubt into his character. 50, use lies and deception. 51, create misunderstandings. 52, give your hero conflicting goals. 53, disastrous decisions. 54, make it personal and visceral. 55, exploit your hero's minor weaknesses. Those are fun. I like to think of those as like, what's the word? What's the word? It's not coming to my head. Character flaws. There's another term for that. Yes, absolutely. Give your characters, especially your hero, give them character flaws, kind of like a tick, something that they do that is going to make other people, other characters a little bit crazy. Give one to your hero, to your villain, right? Make them real. Minor weaknesses. Quirk. That's the word. It's right there in the text. Quirks. Give them quirks. Think back to when we did Tell Me About Your Uncle, right? Those people had some quirks. Maybe look back on that discussion thread and choose some of those quirks from what other people have written or what you wrote. Steal that. Use it. Let all her chickens come home to roost, meaning every person has a past, every character has a past. Have those come back to haunt your hero. 57, establish a deadline, then cut it in half. The hero only has this long to get it done, but wait, now they only have this long. 58, give your character handicaps. Ooh, that's interesting. Break his arm. How's he going to handle that? If you've built your character well enough, he'll find a way to adjust. 59, give your hero a destiny. And 60, make it worse and even worse. I think this is a wonderful list. And here's the list of references that Ian Irvine pulled this from. So, other writers. And I wanted to point something out toward the list, show the bottom of this. Looky here, Chuck Wendig and K.M. Weiland. Yeah, both two of our authors for this class. So I thought that was pretty exciting. Heck yeah, what a great article. So please take the time to read through that. It's a super resource for you. I've also got another article here by Masterclass. Some of you probably are familiar with Masterclass. They have excellent resources for us on a multitude of topics, but how to write compelling conflict is there. Then we have two from Chuck Wendig, 25 things to know about theme and 10 things to know about endings. Conflict is inside of those, but they're not so overtly about conflict. The quiz is going to be more from the structuring your novel and the Wendig readings. So yeah, that's this week. Super exciting. Now our discussion board. Dun, dun, dun. So excited. At this point, we've collected a few characters, thought about our setting, dabbled with the weather. Now, conflict. Every good story needs conflict. It comes in a plethora of forms. It can be minute. It can be massive. It can be apocalyptic. However it comes, it's necessary to drive the story. You have characters, they have a setting, and then something happens. What is it? How do they react to it? That's conflict. How will they resolve it? That's the plot. So, introduce your characters to a variant of conflict about beyond the weather that we wrote last week. Perhaps it's a continuation of the weather. Perhaps it is altogether separate from the weather. What will happen to your characters? Set up the tension of the conflict in a few paragraphs of text. Minimum 2 paragraphs. Try to stay under 1,000 words. This can be beefed up more later. So this one we're calling it beefing it up. So write some conflict. I don't care what your conflict is, but make it believable. Make it intense. Make us in the discussion thread go, oh my gosh. Yeah. That should always be a goal. Yes. Shock value. I love it. If we're willing to just put ourselves out there, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. So I'm excited, super, super excited to see what's going to happen in your discussion threads. All right, now we need to take a look at something. Let's go to weekly content. And Unit 3 starts next week. And Unit 3 is go, which means we start writing. So in week 10, the first 20,000 words begins. I'll have a little bit of a brief video here for you just as an encouragement, but we are going to begin writing our novel. And I put that in air quotes. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I am saying with those air quotes, I'm saying we're not going to write an entire novel. We are going to begin a novel. We are aiming for 20,000 words, which is in effect a short story, but we're not trying to get all the way through the entire plot. We are just beginning, right? We are just starting. We are getting our ideas down. We are word vomiting the beginning of this story. So we're aiming for 20,000 words, and that is next week. So be ready. Be ready. I'm excited. I'm going to do it too. And I'm going to choose to be working on one of those storylines that I spoke about in week 6. Yes. So there will be just a slight bit of reading next week. I don't want to overwhelm you much with the reading. I know the no plot, no problem, there's quite a bit of it listed there, but just as a reminder, it goes really quick. Chris Batty's writing is super easy um, to read. He's entertaining, and I thoroughly enjoy this book. So I'm hoping that you're enjoying it as well. Um, there's an article by Chuck Wendig called 25 Things That You Should Do Before Starting Your Next Novel, but here I am giving you week 10's information. So stop talking right now because I don't want to give it away. But I did want to say to you, be ready. Week 10 starts next week. And we're going to go for 50. No, not 50. Don't freak out. We're going for 5,000 words each week over 4 weeks. Week 10, 11, 12, and 13. 5,000 each week. So we end with 20. If you want to shoot past that, by all means, do. I won't be mad at you. I'll be pleased. So I'm going to shoot for more than that. But sometimes I can't help it. When I sit down to write, I lose myself because I understand how to word vomit. I understand how to bleed on the page. And so sometimes when I sit down to write, I have no idea how much time passes. No idea. And then I'll look at my word count and go, oh, holy crap. Oops, how'd that happen? But that's when you're able to get lost in the story and let your characters tell the whole story. You are at that point just the vehicle for conflict. So they're using you. Your fingers hit the keyboard, but they're talking through you. It's good stuff. So conflict is this week. Enjoy your readings, and I look forward to your posts on the discussion thread. If you have any questions or concerns, you know how to get a hold of me. And if you don't remember, look in your syllabus. All right. See ya.